Morning legend heads, welcome to Sunday Morning Live Meds. You'll be very, very, very grateful that you're not currently in the room that I'm in, because my beautiful dog Bailey is letting off the stankiest, rankiest farts ever. So let's just take a moment to be grateful that this is Sunday morning, not in real life, and it's online. Because mate, far out, every 5 to 7 minutes there's just this waft of shit. So anyway, good morning everyone. I'm gonna do that traditional, what's it called? Influencer thing where it's like, hey, hi. Oh, Liv, I was just thinking about you. I was thinking about you right before we went online. Good morning, beautiful Liv. Good morning, Smoochy Pooch. I liked running into you yesterday at the beach, or whatever day it was. Good morning, Eve. Good morning, Michelle. If you're wondering why some people are doing some laughy emoji faces, Bailey keeps farting and they are rank. They are stanky and they are ranky. There you are. Hey, there's the culprit. Don't you stick your butt near me. You're good. You go over there. Good morning, Nick. Good morning, Jess. Good morning, everyone joining in. Thanks for coming in. Good morning, Alex. I saw some other peeps there. Helen, Michelle, I can see you there. Carly, Jane. Good morning to all. Good morning to Joe. How you going? What's going on? What's going on in your world, in your life? I hope you are okay, and if you are not, that you have the ability to hold space for yourself, or to reach out to someone who can help you do that. Please don't suffer in your not okayness if you do find it hard to hold space for yourself. It definitely used to be me. I never knew how to hold my own self when I was not okay. And that was a really difficult time, and I also didn't feel comfortable reaching out to people. So if that's you, please reach out to someone that you love and someone that you trust. Yes, I'm doing much better this week, surprisingly, because I got my period. Usually I'm not so good. Maybe actually that would make sense, because my period's early, and last week when I was not in a great place, that would have been me being premenstrual. Sneaky little fucking body system. Anyway, much better this week. So that feels better. More stable, more stability. Anywho, if you're new to Sunday Morning Meds, every Sunday I'll come up and have a chat about a certain topic that I hope is relatable for you, to shed some light, to bring some awareness, and then we do a meditation on that. So what I want to bring to you today is a topic that I think is really important, no matter what stage of life, and just because this is, I guess, an un-COVID related topic. Welcome to your first live, Shah. Welcome to your first live. And it's knowing the difference. And the reason I bring this up is because a few of my clients I've been talking to about this week with them, it's knowing the difference between your story, reality, and then the difference between actual reality. So what I mean by that is the stories inside of our head can make us believe that actual reality, as in, let's say this is actual reality, and then this is the story, right? It's got more controls in it. So it's like, I'm going to control how current reality is by telling you a certain story, right? The story that you will tell yourself inside your head, inside your noggin, is going to impact the way that you see reality. I do this all the fucking time. I'm like, check out this story this story about how hard life can be, this story how whatever, right? And yes, in reality, life can be hard. Let's not, fucking spiritually bypass this shit. It's life can be hard, but the story that then we add on top of that, that's where I believe suffering is. That's where I believe, one area of suffering can be created from. That's where we create suffering from. Fuck, get your English out, cat. And for me, I'll share, because I like to be honest and relatable. So for me, it's so boring. It's so boring because it's often the same shit all the time. My story is, Kat, you are no longer attractive. You've gone past your prime. You look not good in your body, and that's being nice. That's being nice, the way that I'm saying that. And you won't be successful, or you won't be taken seriously by who? I don't know. The serious police, until you look like this, or until you look like that, right? So that's the story inside my head. Now, I know you'll be sitting there going, fucking, are you bananas? And short answer is, in my story, yes, I am, which is driven by my ego, which is driven by these little limiting beliefs inside of my head that are telling me that I won't be accepted until, right? I know it's a story. Do I get caught up in it sometimes? Yeah, I do, for like a moment, and I'm like, nice story, Kat, not gonna suffer today. I've suffered for my teens, I've suffered in my 20s, now I'm nearly 36, and I'm like, you know what? Nah, I ain't gonna buy this shit anymore. But it doesn't mean that I don't experience it. Just because I've been doing the work for, nearly 10, 12 years, doesn't mean I don't experience the story. It doesn't mean that. And so here I am listening to the story, and it's probably because I've been premenstrual, which I didn't actually know because my period's early, and I'm always hard on myself, right? Always hard on myself. So I put on clothes, I'm like, fuck, you look like shit. Fuck, you're ugly. Fuck, why can't you just look like that? Why can't you have a body like that? Yeah, Nicole, Karen, ego's Karen, right? So the point that I want to make here, this story has the ultimate potential to fuck with this, your reality. And your reality, when this fucks with your reality, fucks with your day. Fucks with the way that you see yourself. Fucks with the way that you relate to other people or not relate to other people. So if I listened and believed this story like I used to for many, many years, what I would do is I'd close off. I would listen to the story, I would believe it, and then I'd keep myself away from public, I'd keep myself away from doing certain things because of how self-conscious this is. And I've been self-conscious for a very long time. So no matter how much in my reality and in my truth, I know that beauty firstly lies within. Beauty is not just an external thing. But also in my truth and in my reality, I also know that I am beautiful. I do know that. I fully do. And I accept my beauty. I do. But this story doesn't. And it won't. And it's relentless. And the reason I bring this up is because you may have a story that is really fucking with your reality, right? You may have a story that's really fucking with your reality and causing more suffering than required. So for me, I hear the story, I look in the mirror, and I'm like, okay, what is my story saying? What's my ego saying? What's the drama in my head saying? It is immediately saying, look at your thighs. Look at your fat. You're eating well and nothing's fucking changing. When's it ever going to happen for you? Probably never. So you have to work harder. You have to starve yourself. You have to eat less. You have to restrict. Right? And in the past, I believed that. I went on fucking skinny me teas. I like totally cut down my calorie intake. I used to weigh 50 kilos at one point. When I was 25, 26, I made myself weigh 50 kilos. And if I went to 51 or 52, bam, this story would arc back up and send me straight back down to 50 kilos. And it was fucking shit. Cool. May have looked good, but although people thought I was sick, people actually thought I was sick. But it was unhappy. I was actually unhappy. And so now I know when I hear that story, I'm like, yeah, cool. Old mate's back. Nicole here, she calls hers Karen. She calls her ego Karen. I just call mine ego. Right? So I hear it and I let myself have a moment with it. I'm like, yeah, cool, go. Tell me what you want to say. All right, yep, you're fat. Yep, you think your arms look like sausages? Okay. Your thighs still touch? Okay. You have cellulite on your ass? Okay. Fucking hell. You can keep going. This story can keep going, but I give it time and I give it a boundary. And then I come back to reality. I come back to reality where I truly look at myself and I go, okay, that's cool. You can think all of those things, but in my real reality and in my real truth, I don't give a fuck anymore. That's what I'm choosing to not give a fuck about anymore, even though this one wants to. So I then, in my truth and in my current reality, I wipe the slate clean and I choose to focus on something else. Choose to focus on the work that I've got to do for the day. Or I choose to focus on still nourishing my body the way that I love to do it. And loving and eating the foods that I love to do, that I love to eat. I actually almost take the focus off the whole food, skinny, be skinny, you're fat thing. And I focus on just going to nourish myself the way I love to. Just going to focus on my work the way I love to. Just going to go for that walk. I'm not going to fucking go 10 times harder, you know. In that exercise regime that I do, I'm not going to like flog myself harder for an extra 500 grams because I've done that. I've listened to the story and I have suffered. Right? So I'm bringing this to you because maybe this is your story too. Maybe you're like, shit, this is my story that I'm experiencing right now. Or maybe yours is another. Maybe your story over here is you're a worthless sack of shit story. That you don't deserve anything better than what you've got story. Maybe it's a you will never be XYZ story. Maybe it'll be you insert whatever you want to insert, right? But for me, that's just my story right now. That's the loudest story in my head. And it actually makes sense because I'm premenstrual. Now I've got my period and I always bloat and I always feel puffy and I never can choose what I want to wear. It's just what happens. I'm like, fuck, why can't I choose what I want to wear? I literally put on like 3 different tops. I'm like, man, 2 different pants, man. Like, can't I just go back to my fucking PJs? That'd be easier. You know, so that's just the loudest story in my head. Next week is probably going to be a different fucking loud story. And you know what? It's the hardest thing. It's the hardest thing to live with these stories in our head and then to come back to truth or come back to reality. Once again, like I said last week, if more people shared about this, people of influence, people who had, you know, the ability to really share with their community about this, the less fucking nuts we would feel, the less crazy we would feel. The less crazy we would feel. We're like, oh, fuck, oh, so these stories are normal, but how do you then come back to this, you know? So, that's the topic today. Story versus reality, or even story versus truth. Story versus truth. Beck just asked, which is a really good question, why is our inner voice such a mean bitch? I like to think that our deepest inner voice is actually our truth. So I would say it's our inner critic that is a mean bitch or appears to be a mean bitch. But Beck, this part of us, the ego, it does everything it possibly can to put you back in the box that says this is you and this is all you are and this is all you can be. And the reason why it wants to put you back in that box of all you can do, all you can be, and all you're allowed to do and all you're permittable to do, don't know if that's a word, but I made it up, is because in that box, it feels safe. It feels secure. It can predict reality. When we start to evolve beyond the box, when we start to go beyond, oh, I think I can do more. I think I can love myself. I think I can appreciate my life. I think I can, start a business. That ego that, yes, comes across as a mean bitch or as Captain Arsehole, what it's doing is it's trying as much as it possibly can to shove you back into, don't you dare. Don't you try. And so sometimes it'll hit hard. The punches will hit hard. Bam, right up there. To make you go, fuck, okay, I won't even bother trying. I won't even give it a go. I won't even attempt. And then these are the limiting beliefs that just anchor you back down into staying safe and secure and in your egoic identity. It's when we start to evolve and surpass the egoic identity, that's when we grow and that's when we evolve and that's when we develop and that's when we really do different things. We start to go beyond who we have been dubbed as this is you. That this is your stamp and don't go beyond the stamp. So that's why our egos will do anything it possibly can to talk you out of it. And often that can be the mean chats, the mean talk. And unfortunately, so many of us give a fuck about the story. We believe the story. We channel our fucks into the story. And this is where the zero fucks movement is really at. It's about how can you start to give zero fucks to this and give more fucks to truth so that your reality can be better and your reality can be reality rather than a warped version of reality. So I hope that makes sense. Great question. So now what we want to do is bring this into meditation. We want to bring this into meditation. And I want you to, in your meditation, you'll be having a little ponder about a story in your head right now that is just like taking up a lot of tenancy. It's taking up a lot of space. It's occupying a lot of space. And then we'll bring truth in to see how you can start to steer away from that and live more in truth reality rather than story. Let's go. Get yourselves nice and comfy, please. Nice and comfy. You can sit down, you can lie down, whatever your jam is, whatever's good for you. Okay, and if you haven't already, please close down your eyes. Together as a Sunday morning crew, let's take a big breath in and then out. Big breath in and then out. Big breath in and then out. And just breathe at a pace and rhythm that feels good for you. And just set the intention to be of highest service to yourself. And with your hand on your heart, just take a moment to consider or acknowledge a story that has really, really been taking up a lot of space. A story that is like the Dementors from Harry Potter. Just sucking energy from you, time from you, brain space, joy, belief. Just name that story. And once again, acknowledge and notice how it actually really is impacting you. If you can observe yourself, notice the energy of that story. The feeling when you're trapped in it. And now imagine the voice of truth starts speaking to you. Or even speaking through you. The voice of truth is grounding, snaps you out of that spell. brings you into reality. So what does Voice of Truth have to say about this story? What advice does the Voice of Truth have to share with you? And whatever it has to say, that's now your focus. That's where you channel your fucks. As best you can. Take a big breath in through your nose and then out. Big breath in and then out. Big breath in and then out. And in your time, when you feel ready, you can open your eyes. I hope you enjoyed that meditation and today's topic. One really very simple tool that you can use with that meditation is when you know the energy and the feeling of what it's like to be in your story, and then when you know the feeling and what the energy is like when you're in your truth, when you're going about your day, and if you're in that anxious, uptight, harsh energy, you can stop and go, fuck, am I in my story right now? Why am I feeling like this? Am I feeling this way because I'm in my story or I'm in my truth? And then when you remember, you go, fuck, I'm in my story right now. Okay, what does truth have to say? So it can ground me, so it can bring me back to reality, and then I can enjoy my reality rather than walking around in anxious, stress, overwhelm, harshness, you know? That's a really clear indicator. So that's a tool that I'd love for you to take away. Eve has shared here, I can thrive in my world while being myself. I belong here as my true self. That's some seriously epic truth. That's some seriously epic truth. Cliff wrote, my story had taken over my truth. Time to believe in myself again and bring back the happiness. Amen, Cliff. Amen. Amen. Roxy, my story has been always telling myself I can't be fucked, I am lazy. I'm not doing this because I can't be fucked today, which is turning into every day. Need to listen to my reality. Thanks, Kat. My pleasure. My absolute pleasure. That's it. One little story can start to then seep into the next day and into the next day and into the next day. And then that's the reality. And we're like, oh, that just must be reality. But when we have that ability, and this is what my people in the Real and Raw Chakra Crew, when we get to the third eye is all about illusion versus truth, illusion versus reality. And when we can start to discern between illusion and reality, we're free, man. We're free. As soon as we can have the ability to do that, power's yours, freedom's yours. It's just a matter of time. But when we are the illusion and when we believe in the illusion, like, freedom isn't ours. Freedom isn't ours. But you have this tool, you have this meditation, so you can keep coming back to it. You can keep coming back to it. It's always going to be in YouTube under Sunday Meds. It's always going to be on Instagram under the, what's the word? IGTVs. And Facebook, it's always going to be on Facebook. So Angie's written, the message I got is truth is the truth. I only have a few hours left to submit my PhD tomorrow. It's not hard like I think it is. Yeah, sometimes it's just, sitting down with presence. And I get it. I studied grad dipper psychology and my story was like richer on that one. So, it's just being present. And presence can help you get things through. The story is going to make it hard. It's going to say you're not smart enough, you're not this enough, you're not that enough, whatever it may be. So, yes. What soundtrack do you use? This is actually royalty-free music, because often when I then post it up onto YouTube, it blocks it. So, yeah, royalty-free. I get all my music from Artlist. It's a program. You have to pay for it, but I use it for my meditations as well. On that note, if you haven't signed up to my Meds platform, Take Your Meds platform, I'll put a swipe up link here. It's on my website. If you go to catchon.com.au, it's my meditation platform where there are many meditations that you can access immediately, and then new meditations, added every single week. So I'd love for you to come and join that community and really get these meditations that are about self-inquiry, self-awareness and self-empowerment, all directed at that, all to get the answers outside of you, just like today. I'd love it if you would come and join me over there. It's a 3-day free trial, and then it's either $14.95 a month or I think $119.95 for the year. Come and check it out. Love you all. Love your faces. Love your face. And the third jumper was a great choice. Thank you. This is my new one. I got it from Cotton On Body. I like the color. Made me feel sparkly. Anywho, I'm getting out of here. Love you lots. I'll see you next Sunday. Peace be with you.